want a war? You're going to get one.
What was that? He had no time for one more play.
He had an opportunity to win that game at the end.
But the referee screwed us. The brother screwed us.
I'm upset, but
the brother screwed us.
At least they fought back and tried.
Only Cowboys game.
You literally.
The brother screwed us. The brother screwed us. He had one man opportunity for one more play.
Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, kick Dingbat here, and welcome to afternoon lunchtime with Philly 500, as we're going to discuss what the hell the Eagles are going to do next. Because I know, you know, Howie's got something up his sleeve. He's got something brewing that we're all missing. We're all not seeing, but we soon will. What is happening, everybody? Thank you guys for joining me today. What's up, youngin'? What's up, Daniel Ruiz, Luke, Eagles, Chris North? Thank you for being here. Cameron Holmes, Barbie, the doll princess of YouTube. We got the princess of YouTube here. What's happening? Franco, my Paisan, let's go. Draft season, baby. Paisan, what's happening? Trey, Puthia, John, Laceyford, Mayday, what's going on? Jonas, John, thank you, Think Tank, for being here. Everybody who's here, thank you so much. I see you, Mav. What's going on? Let me see what Mav's mad about today. I always know Mav is here because of the angry faces. The offseason has been an absolute disaster. It's a disaster. It is not a disaster. It is not a disaster at all, dude. We've got the best team of football, and it ain't even close. And despite the moves that have happened, we still got the best team. I truly believe it. The question is it is quiet. It obviously isn't like last all season, but we don't need all these moves in order to be ready to win. I got to lower this TV in my ear because this guy's just yelling, "Shut the hell up, dude." But I think it's not a disaster. I think we're doing good. I mean, I think everything has been going according to plan. And I don't think this is a plan that started at the end of the season. I think this was well before the season began. We knew Josh Sweat wasn't coming back. We knew Milton Williams was going to test free agency. We knew Darius Slay was probably playing his last year. Everything is going according to plan. However, what's the part of it we don't know? That's the question. That's the question. You know, that's what I want to know. You know, and I know that there's a lot of attention in the draft at the defensive line, even offensive line, which, look, most likely the Eagles will probably draft a defensive lineman. I think that's most likely what they normally do. I'm looking at things a little differently, trying to think what other way of thinking about how to construct this team to go and how will the draft fall. Now, I want to show you guys this. Here's the that's not it. But here's the draft visits that we've had so far. It's very important to know that those who visit the Eagles and these pre-draft visits, most likely that's the pool we're going to choose from. I think out of the last 7, 8 drafts or whatever, only 2 times did we not draft a guy that visited. Devontae Smith never visited because they weren't doing that because of the whole COVID thing, and then Andre Dillard. But here's who we've had come so far. Donovan Azariaku, I can't pronounce his name, but from what I watched of him, he looks very, very talented. Elijah Roberts, Maxwell Harrison came, which could be that would be a very interesting pick. It would be surprising. Offensive tackle Josh Connerly, offensive tackle Marcus Embo, North Carolina State, Anthony Belton, Iowa State, Jalen Travis. So the Eagles are definitely looking at offensive linemen, including offensive tackles, probably guys that can play both positions. That doesn't necessarily mean they're coming for the, they're going in the first round, but the Eagles are definitely looking at offensive linemen. As this list grows, I think that's who we're going to possibly see. I think that Howie is going to be able to adjust according to how the whole thing goes. A lot of talk about Walter Nolan. He could be a guy if he falls to 32, which I doubt. He could be a guy you get. It's just, to me, a lot of the guys that we look at in this top, 32 picks, a lot of the guys that they keep comparing us or giving us in these mock drafts, I don't think they're going to be there. That's the thing that throws me off. But I mean, look, this could go a lot of ways. I have now come to the conclusion that if I had to take a safety, and I've seen there's a lot out there say the Eagles would never draft a safety, but I don't put much stock in that because they would never sign a running back. They would never re-sign a linebacker. So all that's out the window. But I think Nick Amorwari would be the guy I would go over Malachi Starks if I had to take a safety. And I'm not saying that they're going to. I think they would prefer to take a defensive lineman. But, this is not a good draft for offensive linemen. The thing about the offensive lineman is you have Stoutland. So to me, a guy who's a fourth-round pick, he could develop him as teams would develop a second-round pick. And so on. He's the big advantage. But that's also why I think you don't need to take an offensive lineman in round one. I think the chances are 85% the Eagles are moving up. I would say 85% they move up, 14% they trade back, and 1% they stay at 32. I don't think they're staying at 32. Brian Guy says, I'm actually hearing Lamb speak. Think he's a great pickup. The guy's got talent, could play swing. He's played a lot of football. Now you inject Stoutland into him and what he can do to bring out the guy's best. And I think it's a great pickup too. I think it's a great depth pickup. Howie loves building from the trenches first. He does. But he also isn't afraid to change things up. For example, like let's say you're at a position in the draft where the best player on the board, I don't know, it's a cornerback. And he's high on your board more than any other player. Like, do you just skip that talent for a guy because of the position? I think you have to draft best player available in this draft in round one. Okay, in round one, especially at 32, take the best player available. I don't care what position, as long as he's not a quarterback, a punter, a kicker, or a long snapper. Take the best player available. That's how I feel. A lot of those guys are late draft picks. Oh, yeah, a lot of them are. Absolutely. But we know that most of the time, the Eagles draft guys that visited for their 30 visit. So we're going to see some guys, first-round guys, come in at some point that are going to be from the pool that they draft. Philly Valladolid said if the Eagles improve passing game just a little bit, they are unbeatable. I mean, I think their passing game's already pretty unbeatable. I mean, what do they need? Like, I don't know. It's so weird to me, not to get off topic, but like this whole idea that we still see this all over the place, like on Twitter and stuff. There's still people are like, Jalen Hurts isn't a great quarterback. He ain't this. He ain't Burrow. He ain't this. If Dak Prescott played on the Eagles, he would have won a Super Bowl. On what planet are these people? What is the most important thing for your quarterback? To be able to win the big games. And they don't, these quarterbacks don't win big games. Our quarterback wins big games. I thought that was the most important thing. What's Jalen Hurts' best 2 games he's ever played? Both Super Bowls. I think people have their priorities all out of whack, especially when judging Jalen Hurts. So this is finally coming to his senses about the Eagles. Maybe he will take best player available. That's why he will move up. So, he's going to move up. He's definitely going to move up. I definitely think so. Your phone is acting up. I'm sorry to hear that. Hey, I heard Philly 500 is joking. The 2025 draft class best. I don't know what that means. I heard Philly 500 is joking. What does that mean? Best. I'm not sure what that means. Somebody tell me how the days until draft. You got it's about a month, I think, maybe just under a month. Dak fails in winning moments. Hurts is clutch. Exactly. I mean, there's a difference between a guy that can win the big games and guys that can't win the big games. Dak can't win the big games. He was a number 1 seed, couldn't win. He was a number 2 seed, couldn't win. I'm sorry, but if you put Dak Prescott on the Eagles, they don't win the Super Bowl this year. Got 30 days. 30 days for the draft. And that's what it's all coming down to. That's what it's all going to come down to. It doesn't matter what other people think of Hurts. It's what the Eagles fans think of Hurts. Hurts is a big game winner. Guy's been to 2 Super Bowls already. You know, it's crazy. Draft night is like spring Christmas for me. Me too. So it's a lot of work for me, but I love it. I can't wait. I expect the Eagles to go up in this draft and take the best player available, somebody that they're targeting. The worst thing the Eagles could do, in my opinion, is to stay at 32. I would rather them trade out and get extra picks than stay pat at 32. Because if you stay at 32, to me, you're just letting everybody dictate who you take. Hurts does damn good against the Pittsburgh Steelers too. Yeah, right. And it's like every time they say, "Oh, the Eagles can't throw the ball." What do you mean? I mean, the Chiefs did a great job against Jalen Hurts. I mean, against the Eagles' run game. They did a great job against Barkley. And how did the Eagles win with Jalen Hurts' arm? It's crazy. Dave, Philly 500 is joining the 2025 draft. Gotcha. Best undrafted free agent ever. You know it. They act like Barr, Lamar, and Allen never had good teams. They just can't get it done. I know. It's funny because people are like, you ain't going to go anywhere in the playoffs. You can't beat Detroit. You can't beat these teams. You can't do anything. Then it's, oh, my God, you have the greatest team ever assembled, and Jalen Hurts just has to play on that team. It can't be both things. It's not like Barkley ran for 230 yards in the Super Bowl and Jalen Hurts threw 15 times. We won on his arm and good defense. Here we are looking at guys who live in the pie on the day. I don't know how to breathe about it. I don't know what that means. What language are we speaking? I don't know what that means. Would you look into bringing Matthew Judon as a rotational rusher? He had a down year, so he shouldn't be expected. I don't think so. I think that depth-wise, I think you got enough guys. I think you should add a guy in the draft. You know, we also got to see what they're going to do with Bryce Huff and Puff. Who the hell knows what they're going to do with him? But, yeah, I wouldn't. I think you're good with what you got. Draft a guy early. And then you're set, you know. The interesting question is, what are they going to do with Jordan Davis and his option year? Are they waiting to see if a tackle like Nolan, if he falls to them, and then they draft him, then they choose his option, or are they going to pick it up before the draft? I'm really curious about that. Draft is April 24th, day 1, round 1. I'll be live, baby. I'll be live all day for that. Linda, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. That means a lot. Eagles have 4 fifth-round picks, almost all in a row. A perfect trade up in this draft. Yeah, I could see it. I think the Eagles go. I think they're going to trade from 32 to about anywhere from 22 to 24. I think right in that range is where they're going to go. You know, I mean, there's a lot of guys I like. There's a lot of defensive linemen I think are really, really good. There's even a lot of safeties that that you don't even need to go in the first round. The more I watch some of these safeties, I think, yeah, you could go second round safety. Now, I do like Emin Worry a lot, but I just think you got to let it go. Basically, how the draft falls and who's available, how he's going to have to, think on the fly. He's probably got a plan for every situation. And Linda, once again, thank you for that super chat. I appreciate it. I thank you guys for joining me today. I didn't really have time to do a video, so I wanted to come on for a little bit. I got to take my car in a little bit once I'm done this, so I figured I'd come on, shoot the shit with you guys. Also, let me thank everybody who sent me. I got a lot of DMs and emails for my grandmother who passed away. Your condolences, and I haven't had a chance to really reply yet to everybody, but I just wanted to say thank you very much. It means a lot to me. Thank you. Fly Eagles Fly, welcome to Dingbat Nation. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate it. Philly 500, Mark Holmes is going crazy, making videos every second about nothing. He keeps saying, like, Micah's about to sign. Micah did sign. Micah didn't sign. He's almost going to sign. He was thinking about signing. He might stop. He may not sign. I don't know what's going on with them. That was a great question. Are they waiting to decide about Jordan Davis? Well, I think that's what we got to keep an eye on, because I think if they're thinking about moving on from Davis and not giving him an extension, then I think that a defensive tackle is in play round one, and they may want to see if they actually get, because I don't think they have to pick up his option till May. So they may wait till after the draft to see who they got before they make that decision. But I would like to see Jordan Davis stay. Thank you. I appreciate that, a.k.a. Candyman. It means a lot. 500, the national media is overlooking the Eagles again. It's already starting. You can hear it with the Hurts stuff. I tried to tell people, if Hurts wins the Super Bowl, it's not going to be good enough. It will not be good enough. They'll say we had a great roster and that anybody could have won on there, even though it's just not true. Now, all I hear them debate every day on Twitter and stuff is, oh, Jalen Hurts, he's not better than all these guys who he's really better than. It's just, I wonder, like, what are their priorities when they look at a quarterback? Do you care about who has the strongest arm, or are we talking about who's the best quarterback to win in big game situations? Dave does this. Dave 500, I'm sorry for your loss, brother. Prayers for your family. Thank you, my man. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Mark makes 50 videos a day talking about how the Cowboys are close to signing Micah, and the Cowboys will be different this year. I know. It's crazy. I think the Cowboys, like, really, if we're looking at them honestly, they really have been very unimpressive what they've done. I mean, they've gotten a lot of guys with names that never have lived up to contracts. They got two running backs who, to me, they need to go out and draft Genty, to be honest with you. That's what they need to do. When did the 4,000 yards become the standard? Super Bowl is, I thought. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's just like, what are people's priorities? Because really, Jalen Hurts plays consistently from week one throughout the playoffs. You look at all these teams in the regular season, they play different. Then they get to the playoffs, and these quarterbacks can't play playoff football. I always thought winning and how you win and winning in big game situations is what makes you great. Thank you, Logan. I appreciate that. Friday's the draft. In April. Yeah, it'll be Thursday night. Will be the first round. Friday will be second and third. And then 4 through 8 will be Saturday afternoon. Agreed, 500. Jordan Davis makes plays at crunch time. I thought Davis played really well in the playoffs in the last 2 games, especially. And I think if he gets better conditioned and improves his pass rushing a little bit, I think he could be better. But there's a legit argument with him with how many snaps he plays. So, we just have to see. I think they trade up with Indy, include Goddard in a trade. Wow. See, the Goddard thing's hanging over our heads, too. Like, what are you going to do with that? I still think the biggest hole the Eagles have, I think, is self-created. We got 367 people in the chat, by the way. Hit that like. Make sure you guys subscribe. Thank you guys for being here. I think we need to draft an offensive lineman between rounds 2 and 4. I'm not taking an offensive lineman in the first round. I'm either taking edge, tight end, or safety. Yeah, those are the 3 spots I want to take too. I think you could take an offensive lineman in the mid rounds, to be honest. I think with Stoutland and the way he develops guys, I think from like the 3rd round on, you can find offensive linemen. But you need a legit safety. You need a safety. They do not have a safety at all. And Julian Blackman visited the Panthers. Ugh. All right. Justin Simmons, old. You can maybe get a guy in the 2nd, 3rd round, something like that. They're guys. But Amon Worry, that guy has got all the talent in the world. I hope they get a safety in the first. I would too. If I could choose by position, which position I would love them to get a safety that plays right away. That would be dream scenario. But, I don't know what to think about Malachi Starks. They keep talking about this test he stunk it up with that is important to Howie. So I don't know what to make of that. But Amon Worry, I think, is very talented. There's a couple guys. Kid from Texas is good. Kid from Penn State, I think, is good. So there are guys. But I want a guy that can play right now. When they wanted high-scoring games, that's when it became about passing yards and not winning. They salivate more over yards than actual wins. I know, it's crazy. I remember it was always about, okay, like the question that we would always ask, talking about quarterbacks was, all right, you're down 4 with 1:45 left. You have to go 80 yards. Who do you want to be the quarterback? Who do you trust the most? That was always the conversation. Now it's like, it's all this other crap. It doesn't matter. I think part of it is that they have to make an excuse because they can't accept that their quarterback doesn't win. I mean, how is Dak Prescott every year is a prove-it year? You ever notice that? Every year, this is the big year for Dak. Then last year, this is a big season for Dak. Every year is a big season for Dak. But he's never held accountable by Cowboy fans. Like, never. Teams will run on defense after seeing how we stuffed Kansas City. Teams will try to run on defense. One thing I don't think many teams can stop us, and I don't think many teams could run on us. When Howie is this quiet, something's brewing. Possible draft night. Yeah. I think something big is brewing. We keep talking about the safety position. Like, who's the next C.J. Gardner-Johnson out there in the league on a roster that we're not thinking of that Howie's eyeing? Something like that is going to happen. Eagle fan, welcome to Dingbat Nation. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate that. Julian Blackman is a horrible tackler. Yeah, I mean, look. It's not something that excites me a lot, but what are you going to do? You have to get somebody. You can't just count on Sidney Brown. Not that Sidney Brown can't do it. Man, my voice is getting all dried out. But I think you need competition there. And Eagles fan, I don't know if I said this, but thank you, man. Welcome to Dingbat Nation. Thank you so much. Saquon got Jameis a job with the Giants. Did you see that left celebrate? Yeah, I saw they got the Giants. Giants got Jameis Winston. Like, the Giants are a mess. I don't understand what the hell that team is doing. Philly, in your title you wrote, finally, about a signing. Mark was laughing, thinking it was only our first and only signing. No, yeah, it wasn't. It was because they were quiet for about, the last 4 or 5 days. That's all I meant. Walter Nolan, look, I could not complain about Walter Nolan the first. However, if you get Walter Nolan in the first, then you got to think that they're not going to extend Jordan Davis. I would think that they may pick his option up, maybe, but that would mean he's on the outs. I also don't think Walter Nolan is going to be there. I think you have to trade up to like 20 to get him. But we are going to trade up, so he's in play in that way. Let me catch up. Was it Cardiac Green? Thank you for the super chat, man. Shout out to you and thank you so much. He goes, it becomes about sports betting and quarterback suffering. Got to come from behind 17 points with no O-line, and you have to throw wide receivers open every pass play. Yeah, and that only works in the regular season. Once you get to the playoffs, it doesn't work like that. Everything tightens up. That's why you get a guy like Herbert, throws 3 interceptions the whole season, goes into one playoff game, throws 4. I would take Jalen Hurts over all those guys. Viking safety is old. He is. You want Malachi Starks? I like it. I think I like it. I don't know what to think. I mean, I don't know what to make of this whole testing thing that all of a sudden is a big deal. Yeah, Nolan's under 300. Trading 32 wouldn't be a bad idea, even though as a fan, we want a big pick. Oh, I just think if you're the Eagles and you've been dealing with everything basically because of the cap, and you've made some moves, some parallel moves, you lost some guys. But if you really want to make a splash for your team, you got to be aggressive in the draft and move up. You got to move up. Or you got to go back and get more picks. Winston has to be delivered from throwing pick sixes. Joe, Philly, what's up? Greetings from Germany. Let's go. Hey, shout out to you in Germany, man. What's happening? Stark's fixed Fangio scheme system will be a menace. What do you make of that whole rad score thing? Was it some athlete thing? Apparently, this test that the Eagles have used a lot in the past, and only Rager was the guy they drafted that did bad on it. I don't know what to make of all of it. I don't, but I do know we got to watch the visits. Who visits? If Malachi Starks doesn't come in for a visit, I'm going to feel like they won't draft him. So I really think that the visits is where we got to keep an eye on. City's more than capable of being the starter. He just needs always go 100 miles per hour and pick his spots. I think there's some questions about him in pass coverage, and I also think that he might be the guy, but you gotta bring in some competition for him. You can't just give him that job. It's like Ringo. You can't just give Ringo the job. I mean, look, if you add a starting safety, like if you could get a guy that could come in there and be good, you know how good that secondary is going to be for the next 5-6 years? It's going to be the best in the league. Would one say Aaron Donald was an effing monster because he's 6'1"? No. Mad Titan, thank you for the super chat, my man. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. 1 month to go until how Houdini works his magic. Love listening while at work. Makes the day better. Take care, my friend. Thank you, my man. I appreciate that. And thank you for hanging out with me today. Winston's the best quarterback on their squad. He is. He's going to be their starter. What are they going to do? Draft like Shedeur Sanders or something? Maybe they won't. I don't know. But the Giants, why? They're just stupid. What corner should we draft? Well, I mean, I haven't done a whole lot of work on the corners, but this Maxwell Harrison kid came in for a visit. So if we're going based upon who the Eagles look at, the kid came in for a visit, could be the guy. But I don't think they're going to draft a corner in the first round. I think they're going to give Ringo the opportunity. I think defensive tackles possibly in play, depending upon what they want from Jordan Davis's future. I think edge rushers most likely out of everything. And then I think that people are sleeping on a safety. It would have to specifically be like Amenwari or Starks or somebody. Raz is a very good metric. Now, it might be, but this is really the first year I've heard people bring it up in deciding about who the Eagles are going to draft. Which I find interesting, and maybe not be wrong, but I think all those things are good tools, but they can't be the determining factor. I still believe the eye test is the ultimate. System of the Knot member for 53 months, man. Shout out to you, man. Thank you so much. He goes, I don't know what we're going to do without Rick Lovato. We're going to win games, baby. We're going to win games. To be honest, I want a safety from PSU. Take a drink, 500. All right. I'm drinking. I got water here. Yeah, the kid from Penn State's not bad. Question is can he start? See, I want my safety to start. I want to continue what we did with Q, what we did with Cooper DeJean. Oh man, nah, you the man. 20 picks in the 2 drafts are too many, period. That's why they're trading. That's why they're trading up. Question is how far are they willing to go? Do they look at a guy like a Tyler Warren and say, God, if he gets to like 18, we got to go invest in him? Like, do they do something like that? I don't know. I got a feeling Howie's going to pull something that none of us are expecting. And I think it's going to be a big move, an aggressive move, and we're all going to love it. But we're not. I haven't heard anybody talk about it, and I don't talk about it because I don't know what it is. Herc Dog, member for 27 months, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thank you. Jameis will at least add some excitement to the Giants. They won't win, but it'll be exciting losses. He's going to throw a how many pick sixes will Cooper DeJean and Q have on them? Kevin Winston Jr. would be a perfect value pick for the Eagles in the 3rd round. Was a top 20 pick. Yeah, it could be. Could be. I mean, look, they need a safety. Got to have a safety. And I'm just not sold on the whole Justin Simmons thing. Which maybe what Vic Fangio wants to do, I don't know. But I don't know what he's got left. Josh Connolly Jr., offensive lineman. Jihad Campbell, linebacker, 1st round. We need Lane Johnson replacement. Now we need some backup linebackers if Bond gets hurt. Agreed. We definitely need some depth at linebacker. And I think we'll get that in the mid rounds, maybe mid-late rounds, like 5th round, something like that. I don't think Jihad Campbell's going to be there. If you look at pre-combine, he was late 1st, early 2nd. Now I keep seeing him like top 15, not top 50, but like between 15 and 20. How big of a gap between Nick E or Starks and the next safety group? There's some decent safeties. I think with Nick Amenwari, I think his upside's ridiculous. Like when you look at like athleticism and that kind of stuff, I think he's probably got the highest upside. I think Malachi Starks is probably most ready to go day one. But I think Amenwari, the more I watch him, the more I'm like, man, that kid's just such an athletic freak. If you add another guy on this defense in the secondary with that kind of ability, like Q, like Cooper DeJean, I mean, it's nasty defense, a nasty secondary. And they got him going anywhere. I see him 20 to 28, 29. So he's in range where the Eagles can make a play. Suo Blaze, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. Winston 100% start, only missed 2 tackles in 3 years. Are you talking about the Winston? Are you talking about the safety? Yeah, that's what we need. That's what we need. We need somebody who can start. See, I want a guy on that rookie contract, right? I want a guy with a rookie contract that can go out there, play right away, and then free up the Eagles to extend Reed Blankenship. I have now gone from thinking Reed is an okay guy on your roster to thinking that he's a legit starter that you need to keep. I believe the Giants are one good off season from being better than the Cowboys. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver is what they need. Yeah, well, they need an offensive line too, but they don't have a quarterback of the future. I know. Are they still in play for Aaron Rodgers? Or is with Winston signing kind of mean no? I think that they made a stupid mistake. Why you would kept that GM is beyond me. This draft isn't deep at linebacker. If we get one in the 5th round, they aren't really a difference maker. We have to go high. Vaughn proved how important linebacker position is within the system. Well, if you go, let's say, 1st round linebacker, right? Then what does that say about Nakobe Dean? Are you going to extend Nakobe Dean? You've got Vaughn on a contract, and then you're going to bring in another 1st round linebacker to sit on the bench? See, I wonder if they would do that. Otherwise, if you're telling me they don't trust Nakobe Dean's future, then it's in play. What's up with the Jaguars? Well, apparently they're fielding offers. There's been some denial about that, but I think it's true. If they're fielding offers for a possible trade for Travon Walker, what are they asking for? I'm sure they're asking for a lot, but that's all we heard. I don't know. I think the Eagles like him, and that would be a crazy trade, but they got to pay him an extension. You're going to have to give him a huge extension. Hurts just won a Super Bowl, but people still want to talk shit. It's crazy. It's like, what is your priority for a quarterback? Like what is the statistics that matter anymore? It like, really, is it about, oh, well, he's got a big arm, he could throw a deep ball 85 yards, or is it, can you win a big game? Like, I don't understand what people even look at anymore. They said Rodgers will make his decisions in a few days. Who's in the running? Cleveland? Is Cleveland in it? Pittsburgh? He's going to end up going to Minnesota because he's following the Brett Favre career. I'm not extending Dean. I would let him walk. Well, then if that's the case, then I'd say you have to play. Linebacker has to become in play. Then I would agree with it. I think you got to extend him. I think you got to keep Dean. I think Dean's value. I mean, he's got to prove he can stay healthy. But man, I don't know. I think he's a tone setter. Hurts got the 3 Super Bowls before he gets his due. I think if he wins one more, people will have to bend the knee. Vikings said no to Rodgers. It's about time they did something smart. If Rodgers goes to Pittsburgh, that will be a disaster. Too many divas in that locker room, and Tomlin will lose the team. And you know what? Darius Slay will be telling all the business because you got all those guys. There'll be craziness, and then he'll be going on his podcast telling us all about what's going on. Vikings said they don't want Rodgers. Steelers, Giants are surprise team. It's interesting. I say he's going to land with the Steelers. Have you seen the new Jaguar electric car? Is bad. Nah, I'm not a big electric car guy. I like my big gas jug guzzlers. Trey Diesel, man, thank you for super chat. He goes, everyone forgetting Van Sumeren was ahead of Burks on the linebacker depth chart before he got injured week 12. We are good at linebacker, and Dean will be back. Dean stays. I like Dean. I want him to stay healthy. I also I like Trotter a lot. A lot of people don't like Trotter, but I do. I think you need depth at linebacker. Do I think you need a first round guy? No. But if you think Dean needs a walk, then yeah, they're in play. Now, if Jihad Campbell became available in the draft and fell to 32, I would have to take him. And also, don't forget, Van Sumeren is now the fullback. He's listed as a fullback. Ernie, thank you, my man. Appreciate you. Vaughn and Dean were a legit force to be reckoned with. They were, both of them. A live 500 makes me happy. Oh, I appreciate that. Slay going to be spilling the bean. Oh, my gosh. You know it. It's going to be brutal. Carlos, thank you for the super chat, my man. Appreciate you, man. 500 depends on where his guy falls in the draft. Being 32 is too far away to wait for our guy like we did Quinion. I see top 20 pick trade. Oh, yeah, I agree. They're not staying at 32. I only talk about 32 and because, like, it's hard to do, like, mock drafts and stuff, trade, The mock draft trades, like, they're never believable. But I think the Eagles, I think they're trading up. I think I see them trading up like 22, 23, 24. And thank you so much for that super chat, man. It means a lot to me. Thank you. Dean is good at linebacker. He just needs to stay healthy. Agreed. That particular knee injury D got is bad. That can hurt a lot of his running ability in the future. I don't know enough about that injury. So, I mean, you might be right. We'll have to see. What do you like about Trotter? I think Trotter is very instinctive. I think Trotter has very, very good instincts. And I like his reaction to certain plays. Like, even for a young guy, you watch him, he missed, like there were plays where he's in the backfield missing tackles. He has great instinct. He has a great jump on the ball on the snaps. He's just got to get a little stronger, be a little better tackler. But I think he legit could be a starter in this league. That's where I project him. So we'll see. But I love his instinct. I mean, there's a lot of plays where he's in the backfield and he just doesn't tackle the guy. He needs to play. No, Dean's injury is not that bad. It's not as bad as an ACL. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know enough about it to say. If Bond goes down, you're telling me you trust Trotter to run that defense? I don't know. Guys like laugh out loud. There's no guarantee that Dean will be the same after knee. I'm going to after linebacker first, second round. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, when you have two linebackers already who are starters, most likely a team's not going to draft a guy in the first round to be a backup for 3 years. So, maybe you could get a guy who would be a better backup and come in and be better than Trotter that you could take early. But how many teams are going to have a guy they take in the first round and then have him on the bench for 3 or 4 years? That's what I'm saying. I don't see the Eagles. I don't see the Eagles drafting a linebacker like in the first or second round, and then having them sit 3 years behind Vaughn and Dean. So Dean would have to either walk after this year, or you got to go with the depth guy. They're saying the team will be trading out of the first round to accumulate draft picks. I mean, it's possible. I don't think it's not impossible, but you already got 20 draft picks in the next 2 years. How many picks are you going to need? I think it's more than likely they trade up. The Eagles have traded up, I think, 4 out of like the last 5 drafts. So I think it's more likely they trade up, but they could trade back. Dean will be fine. He's playing linebacker, not wide receiver, running back. He didn't tear anything. His kneecap shifted up into his thigh. He's already off crutches. Oh, that sounds painful. That sounds painful, don't it? Dean's injury is supposed to take up to 2 years to get back to full health. That sounds like a torn ACL, Is it me, or does anyone else feel like we are trying to keep the possibility of who we are drafting on hush because people are trying to copy our moves? Is it me? No, you're exactly right. We set the tone. Teams follow what the Eagles do. And you watch, they're all going to be taking players from Georgia or like certain teams right away. They're going to copy. Jihad is like the ultimate weapon for us. Would be insane with him and Bond and Coop in the middle. Oh, I don't disagree. If I stayed at 32 and he was there, yeah, I would take him. But I don't know. I just don't know that he's going to be there. We have a lot of picks. I don't think they're worrying about getting more. I think they will move up. I agree. I'm going to worry he's better than Sean. Oh, well, man, come on. That's hard to believe. Sean Taylor was really good, But if he's even close to Sean Taylor, you got to draft him. You're sitting. You got a torn ACL right now. Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. Robert says, "What do you think about trading Dallas Goedert plus pick 32 plus a 2026 fourth round pick to Indianapolis for the 14th pick this year and a 2026 sixth round?" I love it. I would love it. I don't know if that would be enough to get up there, because it really depends how do the Colts value Dallas Goedert? Is a team like the Colts want a guy like Goedert who's in their 30s, right, or close to 30, wants one more contract? So I don't know if that's enough to get to 14. On the Eagles, from the Eagles standpoint, yeah, I would love it. Yeah, because Tyler Warren's plug and play. But I just don't think it's enough. I don't think they're not going to value. The Colts aren't going to value a 30-year-old tight end like we would think. Question: I hear everybody talking about trading players. How can we trade players for draft picks if we use both our post June 1st designation already? Well, you don't have to. A trade pick doesn't have to be designated June 1st. So you know what I mean. I guess you would have to look at the players' cap, how it would affect in a trade pre June 1st. But that shouldn't be the only factor in trading a guy. I guess it would depend what it is, and like a guy like Goddard, I don't even know what his numbers would be. I could go look real quick. But it just would depend on the player. I mean, you think they could trade a Jordan Davis? Would they trade Jordan Davis and then take like Walter Nolan? Would they do something like that? That could be an interesting move. Let's see, Goddard. Here, I'll pull it up for you. All right, so let me see if I can zoom this in. But here's Goddard. So if you want to trade Goddard pre-June, it would cost the Eagles $9.5 million in cap space. So you would have to either like restructure and then trade. They could do that. Like a team could work an extension and trade, something like that. But yeah, it's $9.8 million pre-June 1st to trade him. If you waited a year, you'd save $10 million. Now, if you traded him post-June 1st, you save $4 million. So yeah, they would have to restructure his contract before they trade him. It'd have to be like extension and trade, something like that. If you get anything for Davis, trade him. You could get something for Davis. Like I don't know why people think Davis isn't worth it. Like I think Davis is worth the $9 million. No, it's not. It's not savings. It's let me show you. It's actually, if I can zoom it in, it's actually loss. See how it's red? And then if you look at the 10 million, it's a different color. So at 9.5 in the red, That's negative, and then it's a different shade than that 10.1, and then the 7 million too. And then if you go to post June 1st, you see the color's completely different. So yeah, it would cost you post pre-June. The 21 million. Where are you looking? 21 million. What do you mean 21 million? Where are we looking? I don't see what part you're talking about. The 21 million is dead money. So that $21 million, that's how much dead money they would cost the Eagles to trade them. So you got to wait. Got to wait, or you got to restructure it and do it. Yeah, the Eagles hosted Boston College Donovan as Raku on a top 30 visit. We talked about that. We actually here's their these are the guys that they've had visit so far. There's 0% chance David gets extended. The question is, does he get his option year picked up? Because that gives you 2 more years under contract. The average yards per run is significantly lower when Davis is on the field. Yep, he keeps teams third and long. I agree. I believe Jordan Davis got a big year this year. I think he's getting in shape. I think that the NFC Championship game was like his coming out party. I just thought about a good Eagles trade, Travon Walker trade proposal. Eagles get Travon Walker, and following the 2025 draft picks, 41, 72, 108. You'd have to extend them. That would be the big thing, is you would have to give them like $40 million. Now it's cost $21 million, but you would have to pay $9 million in cap hit. That's a cap hit because it's in red. So you have an actual cap hit in June, according to that contract. I'll give up 10 picks to move up and get Abdul Carter. You're going to give up 10 first-round picks. They probably do it. What happens if Hurts wins another Super Bowl three-peat? Then what are the haters going to say then? Oh, the Eagles got a great roster. Greatest roster ever. Jaguars get Bryce Huff, Reed Blankenship, Thomas Booker, and Nakobe Dean. Now you have two safeties. Now you need 2 safeties. Walker's going to get close to $40 million. Josh Allen on their team makes what, over $30 million, and Walker's put up better numbers than him. So he might not get 40, but he's going to get like 37, 38. And then remember, if Micah signs a contract before him, he's going to set the whole market. You can see how it affects the cap on the page. They say calculator. It shows how much the overall cap goes down. What are you talking about? What calculator? I'm not sure what you mean. How much is Walker asking for? Oh, I don't know, but it's going to be it's going to be up there with one of the, with the top edge rushers. Guys had double-digit sacks, 2-3 years in a row. He's going to want to get paid. He had better numbers than Josh Allen. Josh Allen got over $30 million. I think there are plenty of viable run stuff defensive tackle in the draft to replace Davis. The guy from Texas, Caldwell from Oregon, would be way cheap. And they may feel that way, but they may wait and see. Like, does like a Walter Nolan, does he like fall to them? And if he does, they may play that realm. We got to keep an eye on whether they pick up his extension or not. That's the key. That's when we'll know. And make sure, if you guys haven't, make sure you hit that like button. Hit that mother humping like button for your boy. We working it today. So I hear, what's up? I think Howie's up to something, man. I think he's got something up his sleeve. Josh Allen's the leader in the Jags defense that has more sacks past 2 years than Walker. Let's see. Let's see what he had. He had the one big year, right? So he had 17. I think he had 17 sacks 2 years ago. I don't know what he had last year. He had 8 sacks last year. 8 sacks for a guy over $30 million. His numbers dropped significantly because he had 17 and a half the year before. And you may be right. He may be the guy they want to keep, which is why they're shopping Travon Walker right now. But when you're talking about contracted Travon Walker, he's going to bring up his numbers. And so Allen had 8 sacks last year. Let's see what Travon Walker. Now, Allen had 17 and a half sacks the year before. But he didn't put up, he signed that big contract and didn't do shit. And Travon Walker had 10 and a half sacks last year. So you got Josh Allen. And you got Travon Walker, 10 and a half sacks. Travon Walker also had, let's see. So he had 10 sacks. He had 3.5 sacks his rookie year. Then he had 10 sacks. Then he had 10 and a half sacks. So he's giving you double-digit sacks 2 years in a row. He's also only 24 years old. That's why they're going to trade him, because they're not going to want to pay Allen and him. They're already paying Allen. But if you think Travon Walker is going to ask for less, not going to happen. Ain't no way Travon Walker is asking for under 30. It ain't happening. So far, it looks like Howie's bringing in the guys he can grab by moving back from the first or up from the second pick. What do you mean? I think he's trading up. So Blaze, thank you for super chat. He goes, Josiah Stewart, 3rd round, poor man's Abdul. Keep an eye out. All right, we will keep an eye out. Eagle says, hit that like button for the best Eagles content. Hey, you the man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, they did interview him. I don't want Walker. I don't think the Eagles are going to do it because I don't think they want to pay him all that money. Was Lafayette a member for 17 months? Thank you so much for your support. 500. Wouldn't Nolan replace Milton? I'd keep Davis. Question is like from a money standpoint, are you going to pay 3 first-round picks at defensive tackle? So if you get Nolan and you pay him first-round money and you keep Davis, you're now paying, and then you got to pay Jordan, then you got to pay Jalen Carter. So you're going to pay three defensive tackles all that money. I don't know that they would do it, especially for a guy that's going to be rotating in. and then a guy that does probably going to get less snaps in Davis. So I think it's one or the other. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think if you draft Nolan, then I don't think they extend Davis. They may pick up his option year, but I don't think they extend him. But I mean, we'll see. Hey Phil, I think Joey Elby and yourself should pick a game this year and have a meet and greet. All right, I'll look into it. Decline Davis' 5th year and extend him 2 years at $17 million, 10 guaranteed. That keeps the cap down. Yeah, I think if you extend Davis now, I think you could probably get him at a good value. I agree with that. I like the guy from SMU he visit. Seemed like a head fake. Could be. Nah, you didn't miss anything important. We're just shooting the shit. Just shooting the shit, my man. It's going to be interesting to see what Howie does. You know, I know that he's got something up his sleeve. Would I do a swap with who? Davis isn't going to demand top market money for his position either. I agree, Jake. I don't think he will. I like Davis. I think Davis has got I don't think we should give up on Davis yet. Like that's my gut feeling. Like we shouldn't give up on him too early. Too many people are. I just think he's just coming into his own. I really think the championship game where he had the big sack on Jay Daniels, if you look at he played the rest of that game, he was fantastic. Then to go out and get a sack in the Super Bowl, like I think Davis, like I think he turned a corner. If he could get in tremendous shape, which he said he was doing, he said he could see 2 abs now in his stomach. If he could get in tremendous shape, I think he's a force. Swap with Atlanta for Pitts. Yeah, I mean, look, Pitts is one of those guys, great receiver, can't block. Would they do it? I don't know. Howie's definitely using those 5th-round picks to trade up early rounds. Oh, I agree. Would it be a good move for the Birds to trade Huff within the same conference, ship him back to? No, I mean, I'm not. He doesn't. I don't sweat him. Like, I'm not worried. Like, if Bryce Huff goes to Detroit, that doesn't scare me at all. So I wouldn't worry about it. Whoever gives you more. Notice that was a low-value position. This was the topic when they drafted him. He's still a California and worth keeping, but it costs evaluation for his limited snaps. Agreed, which is why you have to have a guy like what you had with Milt Williams and Ojomo. You have to have a guy that can come in and rush the passer. But you can't deny what Jordan Davis gives them, especially against the run. Howie is a genius, man. Anytime you get your team in the Super Bowl 3 times out of 7, you're saying a lot. It is. It is. I wouldn't mind seeing Bryce Huff on the Cowboys. Yeah, I wouldn't either. They need to tell Huff he has to restructure. We're cutting him June 1st. Oh, I agree. Valuable, not Calvin. Gotcha. I like what Howie I like what Howie has. I pretty much like what the Eagles have already done this all season, except for the CJ trade. That's the one that throws me off. Other than that, I mean, I think we've been pretty good. It's all about Howie vision. It's Howie vision. We're all living in it. Sometimes we don't know what the hell's going to happen. We really gave Huff a free Super Bowl ring and a lot of money too. Yeah. How about that? You know? Howie's low-key making some sign. I agree with you. I could see Howie double dipping in the 1st or 2nd round and using picks from 22 to do so. At this point, nothing would surprise me. I mean, they've got a lot of picks coming. I wouldn't be surprised to see them use that 2026 3rd-round pick, their own 3rd-round pick, and use it to trade. Davis will cost around 12 to 17 million per year. He's definitely worth that space. Takes up a lot of running. Yeah. I mean, I think 12 million a year, I would do it. Kelsey wanted CJ Garnett. You think it was Kelsey's fault? Wow. I don't know. That's an interesting conspiracy theory. I know Arizona just gave Buda Baker a deal, but I'll still call. Worth the call. I think they need to do something at safety, man. I do. I know we ain't getting Starks, but crap, I'd love to get them. See, I think safety's a little more in play than people think. But I'm going to keep an eye on the visits. Like I really think those visits that they have really will determine. And we just got to wait and see who they bring in. But I think the position, I don't understand why the position wouldn't be in play. You know, look at the success you had with DeJean and Q. If you could add a safety on a rookie contract that could start, then it frees up Reed Blankenship getting an extension. Now, the kid from South Carolina, Nick Amenwari, I think talent, like just physical talent and ability, I think he's got the highest upside. You know, I would go for him. Give a second for Walker. Look, I would give, if I decided I want Travon Walker, I would straight up offer my 32nd pick. I'll give you my 32nd pick for him. And I would do it. You know, but the only reason I don't think the Eagles will do it is because I don't think they want to give him an extension because of what it's going to cost them. Remember, they got to pay Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter is going to be he's going to break records with his pay. Starks, Emmanuel, Warren, Byrne could definitely be with a trade. I agree, and that's what you got to do. I've been watching Alabama, Georgia games this all season. I'm fired up for more football. Me too, man. I think Nick E will drop to the second. I love my Gamecocks, but his performance gives me Isaiah Simmons vibes. Interesting. He's very talented, you know, but you need to develop that talent. That's why, I mean, you can look at the coaching staff. With Christian Parker, the way he develops secondary guys, man, I think that's the kind of kid I would want him to develop. I think we'll get a corner in the draft, but it may be like late, you know. But they did have a kid come in for an interview, so we'll see. You just don't know when it comes to Howie. You just don't know. But anyways, guys, I'm over an hour in. I've got to get going. I got to go take my car and finish dealing with that and stuff. So I didn't have a chance to do a video today, but I wanted to come on a little bit and talk about what's happening with the Eagles because we'll have to see, you know. So let me thank you guys so much for joining me. I appreciate it. Yeah, and I'll be back tomorrow probably for a video, but we'll see. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry you came in late, Chris, but yeah, definitely could see a repeat. No, for doubt, replay. Anyways, guys, we'll see what happens. If something huge happens, then I'll be back later. But other than that, I will definitely talk to you guys a little bit later. With that said, thanks again for everything. Love yous. Peace. We out.
2 minutes to go. You have plenty of time.
Come on.
Oh, shit! Dad! No!
It's over! It's over! This game is over! Cut it off, it's over!
Fuck.
Congratulations, Green Bay! Congratulations, Green Bay! Congratulations, Green Bay!
I said run the ball.
Congratulations, Green Bay! Dak Prescott, you need to be fired today! That was on you, Dak! That was on you, Dak! That was on you, Dad!
I said run the ball.
That was on Dak Prescott!
Trying to feed the ball.
Trying to feed the CeeDee Lamb! Trying to feed the CeeDee Lamb! You tried to feed the CeeDee Lamb! You got to give it to CeeDee Lamb! God!
That's crazy.
It's over! It's over, Dak. Put Trey Lance in the game. Trey Lance can't do worse than you.
I'm an idiot because I buy into this shit. I buy into this shit. Because here's the thing. I am a grown-ass man. And I talk the talk. It is killing me.
I feel it coming. I feel like it's going to take Jerry Jones taking. Cut it off. It's over.